A few weeks my phone rang at 1 in the morning. It was the surgeon. He told me that Jesus' heart was slowing down and that his oxygen levels were dropping. I can't even describe the fear I felt. When you love someone who depends on you, every phone call in the middle of the night feels like a storm. I remember sitting in complete silence after I hung up, trying to process everything while praying they could stabilize him.
Hospitals are difficult for me because there are too many sounds, too many people, and too many interruptions. I remember the machines making noises all night. I didn't like any of it. My brain kept changing subjects, and I started thinking about old movies and 1970s music instead. That's how my mind works. When I become nervous, I start thinking about my favorite things.
What happened to Jesus was much more serious than most people realize. He had surgery for 2 hernias, but his intestine became attached to the mesh, causing a severe infection. He needed another emergency surgery. The doctors removed parts of his intestine and reconnected the rest. Listening to a surgeon explain everything while you're terrified is an experience that changes you forever.
All I wanted was to come home. Home is predictable. Home is comfortable. I missed my room. I missed my movies. I missed my routines. I even missed hearing Maria reminding me to eat my vegetables. Recovery wasn't easy, but every day I started feeling stronger. I finally realized how much I missed ordinary life.
People see caregivers helping, but they don't always see the emotional cost behind that help. They don't see the sleepless nights, the fear, the constant responsibility, or the exhaustion. Loving someone and caring for them every day can be beautiful and overwhelming at the same time. Some days you feel strong, other days you feel completely drained. Both feelings can exist together.
People hear the words autism and intellectual disability, and they immediately think they understand me. They don't. They don't know that I can spend hours talking about 1970s bands, theft. They don't know that I love old cars and horror movies. They don't know that I collect facts about actors. A diagnosis explains certain things, but it doesn't explain who I am.
Humor has saved us more times than I can count. During difficult moments, laughter becomes medicine. Jesus can say something completely unexpected, and suddenly we're both laughing so hard that we forget how stressful the day has been. Families survive difficult seasons by finding small moments of joy. Sometimes those moments are the only things holding everything together.
Tonight, I started thinking about food, but then my brain switched to music again. That happens a lot. I started thinking about old rock bands and family at the same time. That's a strange combination, but it made sense to me. Families should spend more time eating together. Conversations happen at dinner that don't happen anywhere else.
Families change, children grow up, parents grow older. Brothers and sisters begin caring for one another in ways they never imagined. Sometimes I think about how quickly life changes. I realize that love isn't measured by who needs help and who provides it. Love is measured by who stays beside you when life becomes difficult.
I honestly believe music can help people heal. I know that sounds funny, but I mean it. Listening to songs from the 1970s always improves my mood. Motorcycles from previous decades were also much cooler. That's another important fact. Music, old movies, classic cars, and laughter make difficult days easier for me.
Being different doesn't reduce a person's value. Too many people see disabilities before they see human beings. They focus on limitations and ignore personality, humor, intelligence, and dignity. Every person deserves to be accepted and respected. We need to stop defining people by labels and start recognizing their humanity.
Maria takes care of me every day. I know that's difficult, even if I don't always say it. Families aren't perfect. People argue. People become tired. Life becomes complicated. But love stays. That's what I've learned. I think that's why family matters so much. Love doesn't disappear when things become difficult. Real love remains.
People on social media have been correcting me, so let me explain something. Autism and intellectual disability are not automatically the same thing. I already know that. My brother's story is different, and that's exactly why I wanted to explain it. Sometimes people are so focused on proving they're right that they stop listening to the actual experience being shared.
I know people use labels to understand things, but labels never explain who I am. I love old horror movies, classic cars, and music from the 1970s. My brain likes routines and facts. That's part of who I am too. People are much bigger than the words written in medical reports.
When Jesus was young, he was diagnosed with mental retardation. Later, the terminology changed and the diagnosis became intellectual disability. When doctors evaluated him again as an adult, they found that he also met the criteria for autism. The diagnosis evolved over time, but my brother remained exactly the same person.
My thoughts change directions all the time. I can start talking about dinner and suddenly remember a singer from the 1970s. Then I'll start thinking about motorcycles or an actor from an old movie. My brain travels in unusual directions, but honestly, I think that's what makes conversations more interesting.
People watch a short video and suddenly believe they understand someone's entire life. They don't see the routines, they don't see the medications, the appointments, or the responsibilities that happen behind the scenes. They certainly don't understand our entire journey from a few seconds on a screen.
I have autism. I also have an intellectual disability. Those things are true, but they aren't the most interesting things about me. Ask me about old movies and we'll have a much better conversation. Ask me about classic rock and you might be listening for an hour.
Being a caregiver changes your life. Some days I feel incredibly strong. Other days I'm completely exhausted. Love doesn't erase fatigue. Love doesn't make difficult moments disappear. What love does is give you a reason to keep moving forward even when you're running on empty.
Dinner is one of my favorite parts of the day because everyone slows down. Food is important, but conversations are even more important. Also, mashed potatoes are completely underrated. I don't know why people don't talk about them more often. They're excellent.
I've learned that families are constantly changing. The roles we expect to have aren't always the roles we receive. I became my brother's caregiver, protector, and advocate. Life changed our relationship, but it never changed our love or our commitment to each other.
I think doctors should prescribe rock and roll. Imagine leaving a medical appointment with instructions to listen to your favorite album twice a day. Add a conversation about classic motorcycles, and I'd probably feel better immediately. That's medical advice from me, but don't quote me.
People spend too much time trying to define what makes someone different. Being different isn't a weakness. Disabilities don't erase intelligence, dignity, humor, or value. My brother has taught me more about patience, resilience, and unconditional love than many people without disabilities ever could.
My sister takes care of me every single day. I know that isn't easy. We laugh together, argue sometimes, and keep moving forward together. Families don't have to be perfect to be strong. Love isn't about perfection. Love is staying together when life becomes difficult.
Now, guys, take care. Have a beautiful evening. And if you do actually like these, subscribe for more. Feel free to like and share and even leave comments. Thank you very much for taking the time to see this. We love you all.